From the 1011 Now streaming studio, this is The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Good evening, I'm Danielle Shenk with your headlines for Wednesday, June 25th. A scathing new report from the Nebraska State Auditor's office reveals widespread personal use of state-owned vehicles, violations Auditor Mike Foley describes as gallivanting and joyriding on the taxpayers' dime. Out of about 4,000 state-owned vehicles, 1,200 are fleet vehicles driven over 15 million miles a year. Foley's audit found many of those miles were for personal trips, visiting family, shopping, restaurants, even running a private business. GPS data showed one Department of Corrections employee used a state vehicle for frequent personal errands.
So it's got to be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in wear and tear on the vehicle as well as the fuel expenses.
The audit also uncovered employees illegally using Menards rebates earned through government purchases for personal items, something Foley called patently illegal. Despite a similar audit last year and expectations of improvement, Foley says the problem appears to have gotten worse. Several employees are now under administrative review. Less than a week after a fatal crash shut down I-80 near Elm Creek, another accident brought traffic to a standstill in the same area today. The latest crash happened just before 4 p.m. between the Overton and Elm Creek exits. Both directions of traffic have been going head-to-head using the eastbound lanes due to ongoing construction. Stick with us for this developing story. Back in Lincoln, a 40-year-old woman is in the hospital with critical injuries after she was hit by a car just after midnight. Police say it happened on O Street between 13th and 14th Streets. The woman was not in a crosswalk when she was hit, and the driver, who had a green light while heading eastbound, was not cited. A disturbing case out of southeast Nebraska. 30-year-old Timothy Irks of Liberty is charged with first-degree assault and child abuse after authorities were notified a 5-year-old boy was unresponsive at a hospital in Kansas City. The Gage County Sheriff's Office says a 1-year-old girl was also a victim. Deputies worked with law enforcement in Kansas City and Marysville to identify Irks, who is now being held at the Gage County Detention Center. We're hearing from the family of Lincoln woman Carly Schaaf, who was murdered by Joseph Barraza in 2021. Barraza was convicted this week and will be sentenced in the coming months. In a statement, Carly's family said, quote, "These past 4 years have been unimaginably hard, waiting for the trial to begin, but they don't compare to the agonizing weeks we spent searching for our daughter. As painful as it was to hear the evidence, the trial helped answer questions we've carried in our hearts far too long." End quote. They described Carly as smart, funny, and full of warmth, someone who loved animals and dreamed of becoming a mother. They added, quote, "We want Carly to be remembered not for the tragedy of this case, but for the joy, warmth, and light she brought into the world." End quote. In other news, a former Lancaster County Sheriff's deputy is appealing a ruling that upheld his firing. Ryan Schmucker filed the appeal last week, and it's set to be reviewed by the end of this week. He originally sued the county, the Sheriff's Office, and its Merit Commission, claiming his termination for refusing to arrest 2 people with warrants was excessive. A judge ultimately sided with the Sheriff's Office, calling the firing reasonable. Now, if you're heading to NEBRASKAland Days, there's been a shakeup in this week's headline performance. Country star Bryan has canceled his North Platte show due to illness. In his place, Eric Church will now take the stage. Bryan thanked Church on social media for stepping in. The concert is set for Friday at 7 p.m. at the Wild West Arena, and tickets for Bryan's show will still be honored. Lastly, the 4th of July is just a week away, and today marks the first full day to buy fireworks in Nebraska. Davie Fireworks, just north of Lincoln, is kicking off its 47th year of sales, with excitement building ahead of the holiday. Despite tariffs on fireworks imported from China, the stand is absorbing the extra cost to keep prices reasonable. Lincoln police are also reminding residents to review local firework rules, which can be found on the 1011 Now app. Rounding out your night beat is a check of the 7-day forecast.
You've been listening to The Night Beat.
Sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Lincoln.
Watch, listen, and stream on the 1011 app on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.